And with that, we should be live. How's it going, guys? I know it's been a little bit since we've had a stream. I've had everything. Well, let's go ahead and this isn't good. Let's there we go. Now I can actually talk with you face to face a little easier. Before it was a little bit weird because normally I have something playing in that screen there, and this time I decided not to do that. So, fair warning for everybody, I am sick because I did just get back from a con, and that means that I have con flu. There were 35,000 people there, so somebody had something. I've got it now. Anywho, I'm going to be muting my mic every time I sniffle, if I can help it. That way you guys don't have to, deal with me sniffling all the friggin' time. So let's get the most important part out of the way real quick. This is going to be the first episode that I talk about this. I should have done so maybe about a week or two earlier, but I didn't because, well, frankly, I've been busy and I'm also an idiot. So put those two things together and you get a person who doesn't prioritize things correctly. So, most important thing, if you look in the description, there is a PayPal link to a PayPal pool. That is for a holiday fundraiser that is being hosted by me, Digital Hammurabi, Shaniq, Prophet of Zod, Telltale, Vice Rhino, and Godless Engineer, and KC. We are attempting to earn about $8,000 before the 5th so that we can donate that to local charities here that help give gifts to children who will not actually have Christmas gifts this Christmas. So if you would like to help with that, and I would encourage you to, because there are people who are not as well off as others, then by all means, that link is down there. I haven't formatted it to show how much has been donated so far, but at the time of this recording, everybody else, because I've been slacking, has managed to earn a total of $1,365 towards that goal. So that does mean that we are a little more than an eighth of the way to that goal, and we've got another month to get there, and hopefully we can get there. I'm going to be pushing it a little bit more on my actual edited videos once I get those out. That's the other thing that we need to talk about. But this is the first one. This is the important one. This is going for Christmas. Aside as well, there's another thing that I need to point out. I don't have the link to it handy right now. Let me grab it because that's going to be kind of important. Sorry. The other link, and I'm going to be dropping it in the live chat and then putting it in the description afterwards. This is a link to a post from Erin, who is one of my 3 wonderful partners, and this is a link to the commissions that she's going to be doing, because our original estimation when we went to the convention was that we would spend about $200-ish in gas and in food, and luckily one of the gas trips was taken care of because we actually did bring a fan along with us, who ended up staying with us at Jack and Quill. So any of you who've seen his artwork inside the fan art section, Jack and Quill was staying with us for a few days because they wanted to attend the anime convention as well. They actually got this shirt for me, which says, "My vocabulary is 49% sarcasm, 49% swearing, and 2% intellectual discourse," which I think is fairly accurate because I feel like I tried to do the intellectual discourse thing and it ended up just coming off as sarcastic anyway. So that's fairly accurate. On top of that, the shirt is actually signed. There it is. I'm on opposite, so I'm trying to look at this really fucky mirror and figure out how I'm supposed to point to things. It is also actually signed by Caleb Hiles. If you guys know who Caleb Hile is, he is a cover artist on YouTube. He's covered a lot of Steven Universe songs, a lot of songs from different animes, and a lot of Disney as well. If you like his stuff, that's awesome. Because as it turns out, Raziel, who all of you know from the Discord server, got to sing with him on stage during the convention. And I have that video recorded, so when, not this coming video, but I'll have another video coming out soon that will actually go over the things that happened during the course of the con. Yeah, she got to sing on stage with Caleb Hile, and it was an absolute blast. I got to meet him and talk with him as well. So yeah, no, that was cool. He's actually got one of my favorite versions of Megalovania out there. So that was neat, and I actually got his permission to show the video. I talked to him after the concert that he had, and he said it would be okay for me to go ahead and show the video of her singing on stage with him. So that's cool. So if you are a fan of Caleb Heil and you like that, then I am going to have that video on my channel, as well as a truncated version of sort of a this is what I did at AWA and it was cool type of video that I would like to do. I can't do it today, though I'm gonna try to if I can kind of fit it in. The main reason being I'm really sniffly. And I don't want to try to do an actual recording like this. Luckily, me and Nathaniel Walters, who I don't know if he's actually in the chat right now. He does not appear to be in the chat right now. That sucks. But me and Nathaniel Walters have actually done a collaboration, and that's all been recorded. That was recorded last week, so I've got that footage ready to edit. So even though I'm sick and sniffly, I can still work because I had work sitting in my back catalog that I still needed to edit. So that's good. So, in an ideal world, that's there. So yeah. And that's motion on that. I'm going to go ahead turn that off. You barely sound sick, but yeah, it's flu season. So I know that I barely sound sick. That's because I'm holding my breath up here. I actually have been muting every time I need a sniff. That way you guys don't have to actually hear it. Arden says, I just hoped you saw my Discord message. I did not see your Discord message. Unless... I did not see your Discord message. Anywho. So, that said, I see we've got Real Lock in the chat as well. Real Lock I actually got to meet at the convention as well. Surprisingly, I actually got to meet a handful of fans who... I had not, like, Jack and Quill I had already met before. He had met me at Faithless Forum, and so when he came into the house, it's like, oh, hi, Jack, again. But I actually did get to meet a handful of fans at Anime Weekend Atlanta, so that was weird. I was sitting down... at an Evangelion panel. It was Evangelion Jeopardy. And as we were doing it, one of the people on my team just kind of nudged my shoulder and went, are you a YouTuber? Yes. Are you Cirrus the Skeptic? Yes. I'm terribly sorry that, there's more people at this convention than I have subscribers. What are you doing here? So, but that was still neat. Like, that was an experience that I enjoyed having. So for everybody who I did get to meet, who was at the con, thank you. It was awesome meeting you. So that said, on top of all that, what else is there that I need to go over that is very important? There was something that caught my eye in the chat a little earlier, and I do not know what it is. Well, there is one thing there. There is a message that was from Magical Muffin Farts. I'm going to go ahead and drop it right now. I actually did take a shower, so... I understand that you're trying to troll, and therefore I'm actually feeding the trolls. But here's the thing. When I feed trolls, largely they end up becoming content, which means that you not only get to make me money, which is great. If you want to make me money by trolling me, I'm not going to stop you. I'm pretty fucking poor, so I could use it. On the other hand, I really enjoy it when people do stuff like that, and they get to be a footnote for me. That's wonderful. I love it. So if you want to be a footnote, go ahead and try to troll me. That's fine. So, that all out of the way. That's fun stuff. Neil Stone says, are you happy there's only 11 days until Sword and Shield comes out? So, I am happy that there's only 11 days until Sword and Shield comes out, but it's not like I'm going to be able to afford getting them, so... That sucks. The con ended up costing more than I originally intended. I actually got this at the con as well. This Zelda pendant, because we were strapped monetarily during the course of the con. On the last day, I wanted to get something for me, Raz, and Aaron that was cost effective. And if you've ever been to conventions, you know that the last day of the convention, things go on sale. And Drag, I'm not going to do a fundraiser for the Pokemon games. I have bills that I'm behind on. That's way more important than the Pokemon games. I'm sorry. Like, as much as I would like to do a fundraiser for that, $180 to get the Pokemon games, because we'd have to get one for me, Raz, and Aaron, does not necessarily eclipse the amount that we actually need to take care of bills. I'm going to prioritize bills and being able to take care of that over and above stuff that, as much as I'd like to play, I can just play WoW or something, or League or something right now. That can entertain me. I can also do that stuff on stream. I can do Sword and Shield on stream as well, but that's besides the point. So, that all said, who was your guest? Guest was Jack and Quill. So if you are in the Discord, or you've seen like a lot of the fan art that's come in, Jack and Quill was the guest that we had in the house recently. So he got to have my cooking a little bit, and I got to have his cooking a little bit. So that was cool. He made pierogies and turkey sausage with roasted bell peppers, and I made my chicken tenders, giant platefuls of those, because if I'm going to exist as an overweight YouTuber, I may as well go ahead and commit to the r/tendies thing for fun. Neil says, "Are you a good cook?" I hope I'm a good cook. I hope that. That said, I do see that there's a conversation that's happening about stuff that happened in the Discord. If you guys do want to have that conversation, I'm not going to stop you, but if possible, knock that over to DMs for the time being. So, that said, the other big thing that I need to talk about, this is the actual, like, large thing. The other stuff is the stuff that I consider, like, more important, like the Christmas fundraiser and the commission work that Aaron wants to do. This is the update on what's going on lately. So, the update on what is going on with the channel. So I know that here recently, I have not been uploading as frequently, and this is because, again, the convention was happening, so I kind of got stuck taking care of all that stuff. So regular uploads are going to be coming back in, but there's going to be a change because I've had some time to think about what I want to do with my channel. This may suck to hear, and I'm going to pull up the conversations I've had on it. Specifically, I want to pull up the community tab on my YouTube, because there are some things. Google Chrome, are you gonna work? Like, that'd be cool if you would work Google Chrome. That's all I want is functionality, okay? And you barely do that. You really barely do that. Okay, so let's. I'm gonna hear myself here in a second. It's gonna suck. Please note, community tab. There we go. Okay, cool. So, also I see that Zalrock is saying bills over game, Chrome's never work. You're right, Chrome never works. So, if you are watching on YouTube, I am streaming on Twitch as well right now, but this is one of the 2 last days that I'm going to do that. And there's a reason for that. Jack and Quill says, I was going to join the stream for a bit, but this heckin' gas station doesn't do Wi-Fi good. I should keep going anywho, but I'm still salty. Well, I'm sorry you're salty, Jack. But I do actually have the shirt that you got me. I'm wearing it for this stream. After this, I'm probably going to find a place in the office that I can put it, because I recognize that if I actually wash it at any point, I have it on top of another shirt so that it's not making direct contact with my skin. Because if I wash it, the Sharpie goes away. So I'm going to have to actually pin it up somewhere after this stream. That way the signature from Caleb can stay on there. That reminds me, there was one other thing that I did at the convention that I wanted to go over right now that was fun. For those of you who watched Dragon Ball Z Abridged, I actually got a little bit of time to talk with Kaiser Neko and Landy Pator. Landy Pator is the voice of Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z Abridged. So now, Raz actually has her favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card, Dark Blade, signed by her favorite Vegeta voice actor, Landy Pator. So sorry, Chris Abbott. But yeah, no, she has that signed by Landy Pator now in her wallet. So, if you enjoy Dragon Ball Z Abridged, we've got signed stuff from them now, which is neat, and I'm happy. So, Kenny Holmes says he tried to use a mordant on that signature so it won't vanish if you wash it. So, while that is something that I could do, I also generally don't wear graphic tees all that often anywho. So putting it up would probably be better for me. It's not the first time I've done something like that. If you look right there, actually, you can barely see it in frame, and I don't feel like moving the camera because it's very trepidatiously set on its tripod. But that artwork right there, that's above Glaceon, is actually fan art that was sent to me, or handed to me directly, from Atheist T-Girl's son whenever we were at Faithless Forum. So having stuff from fans that I can hang up or put in places around my office, I would rather do that, honestly. Another example of that is that Real Cirrus, I believe I have to there we go. I can kind of do it. There we go. Real Cirrus is over there. I'm trying to find a better place to put him. But until I have a need for him in a video, that's where he's going to be. So, that all said, also we have another troll that's trying to say that trans women are men, so I'm going to go ahead and do a little footnote thing for fun. So you get to go ahead and have a response directly to you. Unless you're willing to look at the chromosomes of every person who you've ever met, or who you ever even get acquainted with, and personally flip up their skirts every single time, you have zero way of identifying what gender you think they are. All you will have is what they outwardly express to you or what they tell you. As a result, you have to deal with the social construction of gender. That's all you have. That's all. So regardless of what your feelings on there, fact is, and facts don't really care terribly much about your feelings, you'll have to deal with the fact that trans women are women. Sucks. Oof. I know that's really unfortunate, and I know that it shatters your really fragile worldview, but nobody cares about snowflakes. They don't. You know what the greatest thing about snowflakes is? When you piss on them, they melt. So, now that I have that out of the way, is Sir sick or angry? So I'm not angry. I'm actually welcoming trolls at the moment. Mario says, what do you think about trans in sports? I have a video on that. Go watch it. TLDR, abolition of gender in sports. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. I've literally made and edited and sent in for review from friends of mine who are trans and who are sociology majors. That video, already done all that work. Not doing it twice. Anywho. Anyways, so that all said, the next thing is that I have looked at the comments on my channel. And for those who don't know, on the community section of my channel, I recently put out a series of questions, and they are, and I'm looking over here because I'm looking at the other screen where they are. Here, I'll pull this over here so I'm still looking kind of at you guys. So, over here, I asked, what format changes would you like to see on my channel? What do you consider my strengths, things I should focus on, and what do you consider my weaknesses, or things that I should improve on or avoid? What has your least favorite episode been, and what has your favorite episode been? Trying to gauge kind of where people want the channel to go. Because ultimately, as much as this is my channel, as much as this is the channel where I get to put out the content that I like, then it is also your channel. You come here, you watch content, you watch live streams. It's as much yours as it is mine, insofar as you come here to be entertained on the channel. At least entertained, learned, whatever you come here to do, it is partially yours in that way. And especially to people who donate. Like, if you're a patron, you're essentially my employer, right? Like, you have a say in what goes on the channel because you literally allow me to function. For the amount of time that goes into the channel, like hours in-wise, the channel doesn't even really make minimum wage when you convert hours out. The channel makes like $700 to $800 a month. The rest of that has to get picked up in Patreon. So, by and large, you guys are kind of my employers. When you guys don't like what I put out, it has a direct monetary effect on me. So I do have to come here and have kind of a consultation, and figure out, where we stand on certain things or what we need to be doing, where stuff like this is concerned. Have I failed NNN yet? I have no idea what that is. That's over in the Twitch chat. So one of the things that was mentioned that seemed to occur a lot when I asked this question was that a lot of people don't like the live streams being where they are. Thank you for the $5 donation, Cirrus, nerd. So, a lot of people don't. They like long form content, but they do not like long form in the way that the live streams are. The live streams end up being very tangential, even hammered out. Like, we end up getting on tangents, and we lose focus of the actual topic that we're going to. And that's part of the appeal during the live show, is that it's very organic. We get to have interactions with the fans that are watching, and a lot like what I'm doing right now. So, like right now, I can respond to any of you guys during a chat, and we get to have that organic conversation. Slime Blue says, have you failed No Nut? No Nut November. That's what it is. So No Nut November, I have not only failed, but I failed horribly. So that's fine. We're okay with that. That said, I would like to say that Pornhub made a tweet recently saying that 20,000 people have already failed No Nut November based on their video analytics, like how many people have been watching their content. And I tweeted back at them that they didn't lose No Nut November. They just watched your videos. That just means they're playing No Nut November on hard mode. That's all it means. That's all that means. So, thank you very much for the $10 donation. The real luck. Get yourself some tendies, fam. I would, but unfortunately, we did just get groceries, and I cannot justify going out and getting more food right now. And groceries was really just lunch meat and bread, but I'm going to have to go through that right now. We're trying to dial back our expenses as much as possible to try to recoup from the con, because if we don't, then we get stuck in this weird place where, like, yeah, we've got food, but power isn't paid right now. That's a $270 bill I'm not looking forward to paying. Yay. Also found out that the heater, though it works, which is good, that's a good thing, the heater does not work as well as it could, and that's not a product of the heater being bad, that's a product of the house being poorly insulated. Things for the future. Things I can fix in the future. I don't have the funding to do that right now. That's like later projects. Anywho, Canna Valentine says maybe you could do mini streams where you pick random fans who want to have a talk and time limit. So that's a thing that I would like to do at some point. But here's ultimately what I want to do going forward based on what I saw in the conversations when I asked this question. What people seem to like most. Dangers of Woo is something that a lot of them enjoy. Lavender Lady says 270 for power. What are you powering? Industrial light that has a light bulb this big. Multiple gaming PCs. On top of that, we have 3 people in the house that are charging devices at all times. So, yeah, and we are constantly having to wash clothes for multiple people, so that's electricity being taken through the heating element. Cooking food also takes that as well. Like, there's enough stuff getting powered in the house that I can kind of understand the power bill being high. Maybe not necessarily that high, but it's uncomfortably high, which sucks. But I think I should look at what the bill is right now. I'm going to do that for fun. Might as well. What's the worst thing that could happen? I look at it and it's larger, and then I get to cry. Is that what would happen? Because, like, that would kind of suck. Princess, I think you overextend the principle of charity a bit too much, especially with people like Omegon. While fair, I do find that if I don't apply the principle of charity to people who I don't like, then granted, a lot of them are probably going to do the same to me anyway, but I still would prefer to at least apply it until they've justifiably lost it. Like Hunter Avalone, with exception of what's been going on recently on his channel, has lost the principle of charity to me. But I have noticed that here recently he does seem to actually be doing a little bit better. Also, apparently my that's weird. I think my emails from Georgia Power have been wrong. Let me check that real quick, because Georgia Power is showing me having a zero amount in. Why? Why do you do this? Astral, I know you're in the chat. I know you're listening, because I saw that PayPal donation. Send that to the Christmas charity. We're buckling down right now. We'll manage. Holy shit, send that to the Christmas charity, please. Why do you do this? Why do you do this to me? I looked in my email to see if Georgia Power had screwed something up, and then I get this email that says that I got a donation from Astral, because of course that happened. There's a Christmas charity. You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna go look at the Christmas charity real quick, and if the Christmas charity has not actually gotten at least one donation since I started this stream, since that was the thing I opened the stream with, I'm gonna be real upset. I'm gonna be real upset. Is there at least a donation? Okay, cool. You did it. You did it. Okay, cool. Thank you. Astral donated 150 over there as well. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Sarah Clark says, this is my first contribution to any YouTuber. You deserve it. Well, thank you very much for the $10, Sarah. That means a lot. That means a lot to me. I do. And then, so, Full Metal Juggernaut. I will check the conversation in Discord after the stream. Right now, I'm going to try to be as somewhat on topic as I can be, which, granted, I know I'm usually not, and I'm pretty freaking horrible at that. But I'm going to try anyway. Derek Strom says, I find it fun seeing Georgia's attempts to be, what was that? To do anything substantial. Okay, so I see what happened. That was a thank you for your payment earlier. Okay, so I was wrong on the Georgia Power thing. I mean, technically I was right, but apparently the email that I got was about a payment that I already sent in. It was $250. I don't plan things very well, but that means that that's about what I'll be getting as a bill later. Yay. All the fun stuff. What's the Christmas charity thing? Okay, so the Christmas charity thing is that me, Digital Hammurabi, Godless Engineer, Apologia, Prophet Azad, Shannon Q, Telltale, and Vice Rhino are all together trying to earn $8,000 via charity. That way we can actually take that money and use it towards individual charities that exist here. For me, I'm going to be going down to a local charity in Marietta that actually has the ability to redistribute that as gifts to children who don't have the ability to get gifts this year because of multiple reasons, be it homelessness or parents are poor or what have you. That charity works to make sure that they can get gifts. It takes their lists in. I'll be able to get more information later, but I haven't had a chance to go talk to them yet. I just got done with the con. So this week I will be going down to talk to them and letting them know what my plans are so I can get that information back to you guys. And then I'm hopefully going to be doing a video about it. Maybe like an interview with them or something. That way I can kind of promote their organization because giving gifts to kids on Christmas is kind of just a good thing to do. So fair enough. That said, here is one of the things that's happening because of this. So the videos that people seem to enjoy the most have been Dangers of Woo. At least these are the ones that people vocally have mentioned. They enjoy Dangers of Woo. They enjoy the critical breakdowns of fictional characters. I've done 2 of them so far. I've got the Darth Bane one ready to go now. I just finished the book again finally, so I can actually do it. There's a bunch of quotes that I needed for that, and I'm harvesting them now that I've finished the book and I've got it ready. Originally, I was going to use the Darth Plagueis video as a way to talk about virtue ethics, because Darth Plagueis was felled primarily due to a failure of virtue ethics. He ended up pursuing the vice of greed more so than anything else. And then I realized why he was pursuing the vice of greed, and it was because his epistemology was egoism, though he would never admit it up until the final years of his life. Once that finally happened, he started to actually admit it a little bit. And that led me to go, oh, I have never actually talked about egoism on my channel. I can do that through the framing of Darth Plagueis. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Ziogo says, did you hear about the far right bashing on Hunter? Yes, I did, and that's actually something I wanted to touch on real quick. I'll go ahead and do that right now before I continue with the rest of this. Hunter Avalone has been getting some flack because he's actually been calling out a lot of the lies that have been happening from people like Dennis Prager and others. One of the things that they've been saying is that they're being censored, which is technically true, but only technically. Also, I'm about to sneeze. Sorry about that. I'll talk until the point where it happens. There we are. And then it's gone. There it is. Thanks, sneezing. Okay, so, the things happening with Hunter Avalone is that he's actually calling out some of the people on the right wing for essentially being snowflakes, going, oh no, we're all being censored. And it's like, yeah, and so's everybody on the left, because YouTube demonetization is pretty indiscriminate. It hits everybody. The Dennis Prager video that I just released, that video, the first 9,000 views on that video were not monetized. It's only the last 1,300-ish views that got monetized on that video. As a result, similar videos that made roughly $70-ish for about 10 or 15,000 views. The Dennis Prager one that I just did that is decently long. There's 2 or 3 ad breaks in there, which should earn a decent bit, should earn at least $60. It's earned $12. It's got $12 in it because YouTube is wonderful and it doesn't care who you are. It will hit you with demonetization. It will hit you with censorship. It will do it to you, period. Happens to everybody. Sorry. Sucks. But I'm not going to say that, oh, it's just the left that are being censored. No, it's happening to me. It's happening to Jimmy. It's happening to Dennis Prager. It's happening to everybody. This is not news. This is not new. If you know the YouTube platform and you've been here for a little bit, you know that that's just something that happens. It sucks. But if you're going to talk politics, .nerd has it right. If you're going to talk politics on YouTube, goodbye. Red Ice TV got shut down. They're hella far right. Would you be interested in looking into that? I mean, I can look into it, but at the same time, I don't largely care. So the thing with Red Ice TV, whereas PragerU, you can just go, well, they are conservative. They are sometimes right-leaning, most often far-right in their propaganda. At the end of the day, that's only as harmful as the message people want to take from them. With Red Ice TV, though, it was a little more overt. They were, actually Nazis. There are some people on the platform that I don't have an issue with YouTube taking down. If YouTube were to take down me or Jimmy, I would ask, well, what exactly did we do? But with Red Ice, I know what they did. This is the whole reason why Nicholas Fuentes, when he does his videos, he makes it a point to not say things so overtly. Instead of talking about Holocaust denial through the lens of Holocaust denial, which is something that happened to another YouTuber, Soph, he calls it, instead of the Jewish question, he calls it the cookie question. He goes into it and says, oh, yeah, well, what would happen if we had to, do I have a, yes, I do. Thanks, sickness, my favorite. But when he talks about it, he calls it the cookie question. Why would you, I don't think that you have enough ovens to cook 6 million cookies in 5 years. That doesn't sound right. I don't think I have the logistics for it. That's the way that he frames it because Overt Holocaust denial is a trademark of neo-Nazis. And when you do that, YouTube can go, oh, those are the people who you are attempting to push to. We don't want that on our platform. Goodbye. When it comes to what Red Eyes TV was doing, from what I understand, they were a lot more overt. Same thing with Alex Jones. When Alex Jones got hit, I may not like it because I'm of the opinion that places like YouTube should probably be a little more public worksy because they're so ubiquitous. But regardless, what Alex Jones did was cause a lot of real harm to families and harass them a lot. And in so doing, he lost his privileges on the platform. Were I to do the same thing, they would hit me too. Like, it sucks. It really sucks. If you're going to be that kind of person that harasses and hurts people, you might lose your platform. Your platform's a privilege, and if you abuse it, it's gone. Like, them's the breaks. Okay. So, that said, what I'm planning on doing going forward with the channel is I want to... The videos don't get as many views, but I've been doing video responses for almost 2 years now. Like, as the primary content that I make, right? And I'm never going to stop doing video responses because I think that when there's a really bad message, it needs to be challenged. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. That needs to happen. And if I feel like I'm the right person to respond to it, I will. Also, I'm about to blow my nose, so I apologize, but I'm sick, and you're here with me. So, that's better. That was getting very annoying. So, if I am to continue doing my channel going forward, there's a few things I need to do. One, I need to figure out how to better give content to you guys, because what's happening is that my videos in general are not receiving the same types of views that they used to. I have 25,000 subscribers, and I'm barely even getting half that in views on videos now. And I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that I personally am not making content as engaging as I used to. And I think the reason for that is that I'm not as engaged as I used to be. In the beginning, I very much was very gung-ho, very, I'm going to tackle this religious issue, and then when I moved into politics, I'm going to tackle this political issue, and I'm going to do it with every single one of my limbs on the ground running as fast as possible. Which, don't get me wrong, that enthusiasm's great, and I wish that I could get that enthusiasm back. But I don't. And Too Lazy for This pointed out, for me, a lot of times your videos don't show up in my feed. And I think the other reason for that is because so much of my audience is not as engaged as they should be, as I should be making them, YouTube's algorithm is catching that, and it's not recommending my stuff as much as a result. That's on me. At the end of the day, that's on me. That means that there's something that hey, Bionic Dance is playing Endless Space 2. Sorry, I just saw that on my stream, on my Steam. So at the end of the day, that's on me. I need to improve my content. There's something about me I need to do, and I need to fix, and I need to improve. And I think that the video responses aren't doing it. Now, granted, the video responses are the primary source of my revenue. They're the content that I make the most of. They're the content that I have the most experience making, so they're the content I can make the quickest. And they're the content that I can research the easiest, because when somebody makes a claim and my brain goes, that doesn't sound right, and I can go and look up the information on that claim, and I can do that research organically as I'm going, that's helpful. That helps me broaden my knowledge. It's the time where I get to read most. But there's a few things I don't get to read. I get to read a lot of facts. I get to read a lot of statistics. I get to read a lot of that when I'm doing my video responses, but I don't really get to read a lot into philosophy when I do that. Because 9 times out of 10, the only thing philosophically that I get to tackle when it comes to video responses is fallacies. I can point out when somebody's made a fallacy. And not that that's not useful. I like being able to go, this is the fallacy you've engaged in. This is how you've engaged in it. This is how the fallacy is constructed. That way the people in my audience can then identify it later. As opposed to some YouTubers I've seen, Hunter Avallone being one of them, who will just say, your argument's fallacious, and then move on, and then expect his audience to nod their heads at it. Don't get me wrong, again, I want to point out that Hunter's been doing better lately. I'm glad that Hunter Avallone has been calling out people who've been engaging in the shit that he hates on his channel. That's something I'm glad about, but that doesn't change the fact that it's still a beef I have with Hunter. Also, we had a super chat earlier that I didn't get to. $2 from Connor Johnson. Wallace and Gromit turned 30 years old today. Thank you very much for that. I know that Nike turned 30 years old like a year ago as well, something like that. A lot of brands are turning 30. I'm starting to feel old. So, Dustin says maybe do some more theory analysis. Well, I'd like to, and what I want to do. See, here's the thing. I'm going to step away from my camera for a sec. I want you to look at this and tell me what things I'm passionate about. What do I enjoy? What do I love? I love video games. I love anime. Hello. Do you wish to go over there? Okay, that is fine. Aaron is slipping in. Level. So, because these are the things that I love to consume, it ends up being that when I'm consuming content for work, when I'm watching Undoomed or Hunter or Discount Hovend even, who hasn't made a new video, otherwise we'd have a Discount Hovend 8. I'm sorry, if he makes content, I will make a new Discount Hovend video. But until he makes a new Discount Hovend video, I feel like the strongest one in that catalog is the one with Logic. And I'm going to keep that as the last one there until he makes new content. My teeth are separating. I need braces. Yay. More things I need to actually save up money for. Yay. Anywho. So, you said you saw a Kitty KL2. Yeah, that's Gigi. Come here, Gigi. Come here, girl. Gigi's a good girl. She's a good girl. She's purring. She's happy. How are you, Gigi? You doing all right? She says hello to everybody. Okay, so what this means, though, is that a lot of times I end up doing video responses not because I particularly want to, because I don't like watching their content. I know I need to, because if I'm not watching the content from people I disagree with, then I'll be sticking myself in an echo chamber, and that's not fair to you guys, because if I end up doing that, there's a chance that I will end up turning into some type of freaking radical, which we've seen before on YouTube. It would be better for me not to do that. And if you guys ever see me going down that road, please let me know in the comments section so I can try to fix that. Now, if you don't agree with me on certain things that I have a stance on, like gender, for instance, my stance on that is informed by the things that I've read. I've read theory behind it. I've read studies that are 40 years old and cited by at least 1,000 other documents. Like, that's where at the end of the day, that's a difference of opinion there. But if you see me, like, legitimately getting radicalized, then please help me avoid that. There's a thing that I've told people like Shannon Q and Telltale and Godless Engineer before, and I'll say it here for all of you, because I've said it to them many times. There have been several times where I've wanted to make a video that's just me angry. And I've done it before, don't get me wrong. I have a couple of videos on my channel where I've just been angry. And when I do that, I vent to them, because they're my friends. Like, they're other YouTubers, so they're work people as well. They're colleagues, but they're also friends. And I will send Jimmy and Telltale and Shannon and GE and Casey and all of them, they'll get messages of like, this is how I feel right now. And a lot of times those are the same people that talk me out of it. That let me know, hey, you're not thinking with your head right now. You're angry, and there's not a whole lot of benefit to doing that. So, because of that, I've managed to avoid going on several long-ass rants on my channel that I honestly had no business even thinking about doing in the first place. If you've seen my live streams, you know that I can get heated. You know that I can sometimes have trouble controlling that. I had an abortion debate where I literally punched my table. I still want to take that moment where I punched my table and put it to music. Because I want to meme it before somebody else gets a chance to. So, hello. You okay? Fair enough. So I did want to say thank you in one of my videos publicly to my audience, to my friends who I've already said thank you for. Yay! Virtue signaling. The best and my favorite. And every time I open my mouth, I look at my teeth and I hate myself a little more. And getting old sucks. This is also one of the reasons why, if you notice in several videos, holy shit, I make so many mistakes. In several videos, I have an addendum pinned to the video where I'm just like, hey, here's the thing I fucked up on. Here's the thing I screwed up. Sorry. Like, so I want to make sure that I don't fall down that rabbit hole, and I want to make sure that I'm constantly being checked by people who can help me in that regard. And largely, you guys are. Not only are you literally my employers, you're the people that can help me with that. So, also, where are we at on the fundraiser so far? Fundraiser is now sitting at $1,565, which is good. We still have a month, so we still have time. And I'm glad. Also says, what up, man? Are you okay? Hey, I'll TLDR, but please go back to the beginning of the video and watch it maybe at 2x speed until you get caught up. But for a quick TLDR, there are going to be some changes on my channel going forward, and I'm getting into those right now. So one of the things that people have said that they have issue with, they've said that they like the Dangers of Woo series, which I need to do more of, and I think a lot of my debunking stuff can go into that. And then they like the character breakdowns, or essentially what ultimately has been the LHAC series, because the LHAC series has been the breakdowns of philosophy. That's the series where I get to actually get into philosophy, where I'm compelled to read it. Because if you've ever tried reading philosophical literature, especially the SCP, that shit is dense. It is not fun reading. Hello. So where like a lot of my information gathering stuff for debunks, I can do in Dangers of Woo. And a lot of my philosophical stuff I can do in LHAC. And the video responses are largely taking the tools that I learned from those two series and applying them into video form. But the problem, though, is as much as that's the most profitable thing I do on my channel, it's the thing that gets the most viewers, it is the best thing I have. But at the same time, to consume the content required to do that, lately, it's been a chore. And I've not been enjoying it as much as I should. And if I'm not enjoying the process of making the content, the end result isn't there. I don't know if you guys have noticed the cadence of my voice. I just started listening to some of my recent episodes again just to, like, see if I was right on this. It sounds like I'm not as enthusiastic as I was a few months ago in my videos, which sucks. Like, that doesn't feel great to me because I'm like, oh, is that how into my own content I am? Because that's not good. That's not a good thing at all. Also, LHAC stands for Let's Have a Conversation. That's usually when I'm doing breakdowns of philosophy or I'm taking an anecdote from something that happened in real life and using that to talk about a concept socially or philosophically. So, can we hope Discount Hobbit is in rehab and not going to make any more videos? I don't know if he necessarily needs rehab so much as he just needs to have a critical analysis of himself, which may or may not require rehab. Christy Abbey says, hit me up if you need help with philosophy scripts. So the good news is that luckily I have not scripted a video with the exception of the Logic video, the Telltale video. I think that's it, really. I haven't scripted a video for 1.5 years. All of my content's been unscripted. which I know that there are still people who don't believe me when I say that, but I don't script. I speak normally into the mic, and I edit it afterwards to make it sound like it's scripted. The entire collaboration with Callan, unscripted. All of it. All the content that I make does not have a script. And most of that comes down to production time. What I want to do on my channel, what I would like to do, if I could, I would like to do just one video, just one edited video a week, but make it the best fucking edited video that I could do. He said, but if there's no one debunking the crappy alt-right shit, then who will? Well, see, that's the thing. That's not going away, because I'm thinking about reformatting that. That's not entirely going out of the way. So, what was I saying? Help me out in chat. What was I saying before I said that that's not going away? It's gone away. So, as far as the debunking alt-right stuff goes, I'm still going to do that, but that's going to be done in live streams more so. For actual video editing, what I want to do... Yep, fair enough, Caroline. So, with the edited videos, if I could go down to making one video a week and make it the best video I could fucking put out, that would be my preferred. One, it would stop me from having burnout issues. It really would. And two, that would mean that I could put that much more effort into the video. Because if you've noticed, most of my videos are very bland as far as like shot composition is concerned. I usually don't animate the Surus avatar, except maybe sometimes for in the beginning. But even then, there's a lot of creativity that's gone away. If you look at some of the earlier episodes on my channel, I used to have my character bounce around the screen every single time that I had like a theatrical breakdown of something. I used to have things like my my logo attacking me and killing me or my guests or shit like that. Like, I used to actually have a lot more creative juices flowing into it. But I don't now, because I don't have time. When I'm trying to get something edited, I just don't have the ability to do it. So I want to find a way to get that back. And I think the way to get that back is making more videos like the Yandere one. I had a blast making the Goddess of Yandere video. That video, I actually feel, not only do I feel like that's a better video for me because that video is mine. It's just my content. I'm not responding to somebody else's content. I'm not bouncing my ideas off of them. I'm producing my own. That's my own opinions on something. That's my own breakdown and my own joke. And when I made that video, I also got to have some fun making like a mini AMV in there for and even just like the opening where the hammer crashes down to the music of the Miraniki theme. Like, stuff like that felt good to do. And that's not something that I get to do so much in video responses. I feel like even though they are the videos that do the best on my channel, they end up being kind of bland, and that sucks. Because that means that I'm not as happy with the content that I'm producing, and if I'm not happy with the content I'm making, then what kind of content will actually come out? I don't think the greatest content will come out of that. I don't think it can. So, while I'm still going to do video response stuff, I'm going to try to reformat that a bit and do that during live shows more. It also means that instead of having to scramble, because what's been happening for live shows, for Mondays usually, is I'm having to scramble for a topic. I'm having to scramble for something, and I can't sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like, I have no idea what to talk about. What did BGR do recently? That's the default. What did biblical gender roles say? I can at least rely on him to say some fucked up shit. And that's not good. Also, Apollo says, do you ever get burned out with your live streams? Actually, no, not so much. Because with live streams, there's a difference here. When it comes to video responses, and it's less so with just standard edited videos, it's just me. It's just me in the room with one monitor with their video where I'm making cuts, and then one monitor over here where I'm compiling sources and doing research. And whenever I get the video live, I go to all the tabs that I've had open for my research, and I shove all of them into my sources area in the description so that you guys can fact check me. That's it. That's how I produce the videos. With a live stream, though, we get to have a chat. We get to have a conversation here. And because of that, things get really tangential. I end up breaking, and it doesn't help, but... Casper says for 336 bits, I'll miss the live streams, but here, take my bit harvest. So live streams aren't going away, though. That's the thing. If you like the live streams, they're not going away, but I don't think I can put them on YouTube the way that I've been doing. Because here's the other thing that's happened. I've noticed that when people are going through my back catalog of content, they end up skipping over the live streams most of the time. And don't get me wrong, live streams aren't focused. They're not. Like, the most focused live stream I have usually is Hammered Out. And even that goes on its own tangents. So it ends up being an issue where, as much as I would like to do the live streams on YouTube, YouTube's not the best environment for it. And not just because of that. Sorry, I'm sniffling in the mic. I'm sick. But not just because the live streams, I'm not just moving because they're very long form and they end up being hard to digest. There's another issue at hand, and the issue is Super Chats. And don't get me wrong, I'm incredibly thankful that YouTube has let me have my platform on here in the way that it's been, and I'll continue to make YouTube videos. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. I can't. But... unfortunately, Super Chats suck. Like, I am so happy that you guys drop in Super Chats, and it's amazing, and thank you. But Twitch really has a better environment for live streaming, I think. For one, it actually has a live streaming ecosystem. So when I'm done with a stream, if there's another streamer who I really like say right now, Gaelic Knox is doing an art stream, I can raid their channel afterwards. I can send some of my people over there if you guys want to jump over, instead of just kind of haphazardly going, yeah, and go do this afterwards. It's a better ecosystem for that. Not only that, the other big issue is that YouTube streaming is a lot more limited. Right, I can't play music for one thing. So like the few times that I did video game streaming over here, as much as I liked it, there are certain things that I just couldn't do. Like if I was playing League of Legends or World of Warcraft, I couldn't listen to music in the background because to do so would be to violate copyright and get my channel possibly struck. That sucked. Also, Super Chats, unlike bits, take 33% of whatever you get sent in. So if somebody were to send me, and this has happened before. If somebody sends me a $500 donation, which I'm incredibly thankful for, like, that's amazing. I only see 370. I think that's the 367, I believe, is the 2/3 of that. I see $367 of that. When I had RJ on the channel year ago, and we were doing the live stream in an attempt to get enough money for him to have a new recording set up for his, because he wanted to do his book readings and he had Evolution Hour. For us to get that, we needed to earn about $300. We got, in the course of that, about $360, but in reality, we only saw about $200 of that. Granted, that was enough to get him a Logitech C920 like I'm using. It was enough to get him... I believe he actually got a studio light with it, and it was enough to get him a Blue Yeti microphone with an arm and stuff. So, like, we were able to get everything we needed, but YouTube still took its third, and that sucked. But over on Twitch, the more somebody donates in a single, like, chunk, the less Twitch takes away. They begin by taking out a certain amount, And then as the donations go up, like once you hit like $50 or so, the amount they take away by percentage gets cut down. And then higher than that, the amount gets cut down more. I don't have the exact numbers on that. But what it means is that if you are sending money to me, you're trying to support me, which is great. I'm thankful for that. That's amazing. The fact that any of you do want to support me is still something that flabbergasts me, honestly. But when you do that, I'm fairly certain that most of you aren't wanting a lot of that money to just go to YouTube. Because at the end of the day, once you send that super chat, I'm really only going to see 50% of that. Because 1/3 of that's going to be taken away by YouTube, and then the amount that I do receive is going to be taxed at about 24-ish% afterwards. So in reality, I see half of what you send, which is still good. But now that does not mean, though. Also, we got a 100 bits donation from Craig Rice. Thank you very much for that. So if you're going to do one-time donation stuff, the best way to do that is Streamlabs. Like, hands down, the best way is always Streamlabs. But a close second would be Streamlabs or PayPal.me. I've got both of those down there. Twitch bits would be better than that, or not better than that, but Twitch bits would be next, and then YouTube Super Chat goes like way down below. So, can you not use Restream to do both Twitch and YouTube and then edit later for YouTube as well? So I can use Twitch Restream to do both Twitch and YouTube, but here's the thing. When I do that, I will... If I do that, which is what I'm doing right now, I'm streaming to both. I'm not incentivizing my audience to go over to Twitch. And that's what I want to do, because I want to grow over on Twitch as well. There's a Twitch partnership program that I would like to do, but that requires you to have 75 concurrent viewers for a long time. I receive maybe 12 or 13 over there, whereas on YouTube, I've got 176. If just half of that were to go over there, or half of you were to watch me on Twitch when I go live, then that would allow me to actually grow over on that platform as well. The other reason I'm doing that is because I have to make sure that my house is somewhat financially secure. A lot of this is not just informed by me wanting to make my content better. I feel like if I take live streams and edit them down later to put on my channel, the content will be easier to consume. So you'll get the live streams anyway, just not in live format. But when I do the live streams, I can live stream on the platform that has a better ecosystem for that. At the end of the day, though, if YouTube were to take away my channel, which, let's face it, they could, right? Like, I have a politically charged channel that talks about very sensitive subjects. All it would take is YouTube just having a bad day one time, and then my channel's gone. It wouldn't be the first time I've seen it happen. Hell, Godless Cranium got demonetized completely a few months ago. It's back now. He got his monetization back, but still, the YouTube algorithm itself isn't perfect. It has issues, and it can screw you over as a content creator. And I don't want to hold on to a platform that is very volatile as my only method of income. I'm never going to leave YouTube if I can help it, but I don't want to put all of my eggs in one basket. Because if I put all my eggs in one basket, all it takes is YouTube having a bad day, and I'm gone. Not only am I off the platform, which would suck for me, because this is a dream job. This is amazing. I like being able to do this. I can talk with you guys, and I can just research and show you guys the fruits of my research as like my job. That's awesome, right? That's a for somebody who likes to speak, a job that allows him to do so. That's a dream come true, which, if by principle of entailment, means you guys are a dream come true. Congratulations. Bad jokes. But I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm screwing myself over by investing so heavily in YouTube and YouTube alone. And the only way that I'm going to be able to invest in YouTube and Twitch is if I make my streaming exclusive to Twitch. Twitch's exclusivity agreement means that 24 hours after anything is streamed to Twitch, I can upload it over to YouTube just fine. All they care about is a 24-hour buffer. So you'll still see the episodes on YouTube. They'll just be edited down so that they are at least somewhat easier to digest. Skylar says, how good is Patreon in terms of amount actually going to you versus the platform? Patreon's actually very good. Patreon's good for that. So, that said, the other large thing with Twitch is that Twitch, unlike YouTube, has a much better track record of notifying people when I go live, which is helpful, right? Darth Sedation on Twitch just said the only issue I have with Twitch is I'm usually not on it, so I'm not getting notifications like I am on YouTube, like I am because I got a ding, like I'm here because I got a ding on YouTube. Patreon takes their cut, but it's the lowest that is available in terms of similar services. This is true. Largely like me, I've got the Twitch app open, right? On my, not on my phone, but on my computer. And because I have it open, just by opening it up, it just shows the people that are live right now for me on the left-hand side, which is good. I know YouTube does something similar, but their interface is a lot more crowded. So, again, if you are not able to watch on Twitch because of whatever reasons, Twitch sometimes has more bandwidth issues, so I can understand that being a problem. Things that go on Twitch that are not video gaming are going to be thrown onto this channel afterwards anyways. That means episodes of Hammered Out will go onto this channel. That means episodes of the Monday live streams will go out on this channel. It also means that when I'm doing the Monday live streams, if I'm doing a bunch of video responses, I can actually just cut those down into smaller segments and put them here where I'm responding to the individual videos so that you guys will get content that's a little better curated for you. So when I'm doing a response and I get 3 videos and I'm hitting Steven Crowder and then Computing Forever and then Hunter Avalone, and then I hit like Ken Ham afterwards and then maybe a Discount Hoven if he actually makes a new video, that's one large stream with 5 different things of content. And some of you may be here for the political stuff, so the first 3 are great. But some of you might be here for the creationism debunks, so the other 2 are better. But if you're watching the big live stream, you might not even watch either of them. But if they're curated down to smaller videos, you might. Lazy Brother says, "Sir, the video game streams are on Twitch, right?" Yes. I'm going to be doing video game streams on Twitch, and I'll be doing all of my other content on Twitch like I normally would do on YouTube, at least the non-edited content. Electric Triangle says, yeah, actually getting desktop notifications is nice. Craig Rice says, I get notifications on my phone right before it starts. And Forival in Twitch says, does Twitch finally do desktop notifications? From what I understand, Twitch does decent desktop notifications. Also, one of the other things that's really neat about Twitch that I like is that I can set up what I'm doing. So right now over on Twitch, if you look over there, it says just chatting. So when you go over there, you can see that, oh, I'm just doing a face-to-face talking to the camera thing. But if I were to do a video game over there, I have it set like if I'm playing WoW, it'll say Cirrus is playing WoW or Cirrus is playing League of Legends. So you know what kind of stream you're getting into over and above what the title shows, which helps. The only downside is that Twitch is absolutely abysmal for growth. YouTube is excellent for getting discovered. If you can figure out how to get yourself into the YouTube algorithm's graces, you can do well on YouTube. And I've done that to an extent. I'm not the best at SEO. I'm pretty bad at it, actually. I wish I was better. But what I have been able to do is get 25,000 subscribers, so at least I've done something. With Twitch, though, discovery is not that easy because when you're a lower sub channel, you go lower and lower on a list of people when they're looking for different types of content. So if somebody wants to watch a World of Warcraft stream, they're going to see Asmongold before they see me, which is fine. I mean, he's earned his audience. But if I can get my YouTube audience, at least the YouTube audience that likes watching me live, which isn't as many as like watching the edited content that shows just on YouTube in general, over onto Twitch, this means that I'll be able to actually grow that platform and do better on that platform. And you can keep doing what you've been doing. If it's a video game live stream and you don't want to watch that, just don't. If it's a live stream where I'm digging into biblical gender roles, awesome, then it might be what you're wanting to watch. It's what you would be watching on the Monday stream anyways. Someone says, discovery on Twitch is mostly people who look for smaller streamers to try to communicate with them. True. May I suggest a Magic the Gathering stream? When I have the funds to get back into Magic the Gathering, sure. Right now I don't. Also, Shawi, for the $2, says, I don't watch you on Twitch because I don't like WoW. Hey, that's fair. But if my political and my my debunking stuff goes on to Twitch, then you'll have a reason to watch me on Twitch. And again, it's going to say directly, like if I'm playing WoW, it'll specifically say I'm playing WoW. And if I'm doing a debunk, it'll specifically say that I'm doing a debunk. And then over on Twitch, we got a 1,000 bits donation. Pride 1,000 says for the first, not Pride 1,000. Pride 1,000 is the donation they sent in. CMDR Relgarin says that first time donating, enjoy the bits. Thank you very much for that. Could play MTG Arena, not that expensive. True. I could, though my favorite method of playing Magic the Gathering is via draft, and MTG Arena doesn't, last I checked, does not have a method of playing draft without dropping actual money into it, which kind of sucks because that's how I prefer playing the game. But, you know, what are you going to do? Wonder how big trans chat is over there? No idea. Osju says, what's happening in here then? Well, what's happening in here over on Twitch is the same thing that would be happening over on YouTube, especially as we can get more people to migrate over. Kathy says, sorry, just showed up. You moving mainly to Twitch? No, I am not moving mainly to Twitch. It's just the live stream stuff. So the Mondays and Thursdays things would be moving to Twitch, but Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday stuff is still going to be regular edited content. That's still going to be on this channel. That's still going to be here and just fine. And you're still going to see the curated content from Twitch moved over here. So, as an example, Twitch allows me mid-stream to change what type of stream I'm doing. So if I start out the stream doing debunks, I'm going, okay, cool. Crowder, you said something stupid. Boom. Ben Shapiro, you said something stupid. Boom. And then Ken Ham, you live in a perpetual existence of saying things that are stupid. Boom. And then all those are out in the course of an hour and a half, and we've had the standard length for a live stream show. And afterwards I say, okay, guys, I'm done doing the debunk stuff. I'm going to transition to doing some video game stuff. Those of you who want to stick around, feel free to. Those of you who don't want to stick around, don't. Then, when I transition to that, it'll actually say in Twitch that the type of video that I'm doing has now changed. And that stream may be like a 9 or 10 hour stream. But when the stream's over, on my end, I can cut out the part of that stream where I was dealing with politics, the part of the stream that belongs on my channel, and move that over here. So the content will still exist here. Functionally, when looking at my channel, it will look not much, I assume, it won't look much different than normal. So, I'm not moving exclusively over to Twitch. I don't have the... I would not make enough money moving exclusively over to Twitch. Lavender Lady says, transition. Is Sir is transitioning only in fan art. And there's been enough Rule 63 fan art. But now that I've said there's been enough, there's going to be more. I'm thinking I'm slowly starting to get more Rule 63 fan art than I am cis fan art, which is... It's a strange feeling. But it's a feeling I've since embraced. Lecture Triangle says Twitch is just playing better for streaming and YouTube for episodic content. Correct. And the main reason, one of the other reasons is that because Twitch is the better live streaming platform, I would like to live stream on the platform that has a better ecosystem for streaming. YouTube's just not terribly great for that. Also, Shannon Q, how's it going? I've said it before. If you want to see what's going on, you can rewind and then go at 2x speed. But the TLDR is that there's changes going on my channel, and also I was pointing out that I'm sick because the anime convention was a blast, but also 35,000 people strong. So I got kind of sick, and I'm medicated right now, but still sick in general. But no, we've got also Shannon on the holiday fundraiser. Since I started the stream, assuming that the donations that have started since I began are just from my stream, I know that a few of them are. We've earned about $200. So that's neat. Got us a $150 donation, a 10, a 20, and another 20. So that's progress towards that. So if you look at the donation goal right now, we are sitting at $1,565. So if you were coming to see if I was doing my job with the fundraiser, I am doing that as best I can. And I'm going to be doing more promotions for it as well afterwards, but I wanted to say that was happening. But no, what I've wanted to say, the TLDR, is that live streams on my channel will largely be moving over to Twitch, but they'll be curated and put onto YouTube afterwards. So they'll still look like episodes when they come over here, but YouTube does a lot of things that I'm not a big fan of when it comes to trying to do live streaming content. One of the things that they do that I'm not the biggest fan of is if you have anything in your video, what Twitch will do, if you have copyrighted content in your video, is they'll just silence that part of your video in post. But if you do that on YouTube, that's a copyright hit. That could be a strike. Will more than likely not be anymore. It used to be. They used to give strikes out much easier. But because of that, if I'm doing things where I'm wanting to listen to music or anything, and more importantly, I want to share some of the musical interests that I have with my audience, I can't do that on YouTube. YouTube doesn't like that. YouTube hates that. Twitch will just edit it out in post, and I'm fine with that. Edit it out in post, that's fine. I got to hang out with fans, so neat. So that said, Mark says, you plan on having a conversation with King Crocoduck? I saw you talk about maybe doing one on Twitter. So that was actually a misunderstanding. I was of the opinion that me and King Crocoduck had actually had a conversation scheduled at some point, and that I was just really sucky at planning. Would I like to have a conversation with King Crocoduck? Sure. We have a lot of political differences, but overall, I think a lot of our goals end up being the same. I know that we do have a lot of political differences. That's not unknown, but I also have a lot of political differences with Shannon and Logic and Telltale and literally every friend I have. Me and Telltale have gone at it before on even me and Holy Kool-Aid. There's an episode going way back on my channel of me and Holy Kool-Aid arguing about the merits of impeaching Trump. And this was like a year ago. I have disagreements with a lot of my friends. Shannon says, I don't think we have many, really. I mean, that's fair, but I know that I've had disagreements with Kool-Aid and Logic and other friends of mine, and we still managed to remain friends. So I don't have a problem being friends with people who have political differences to me. That doesn't bother me. So that's a thing to throw out there. If you have friends that have political differences than you, keep them if you can. It keeps you from being in an echo chamber, and that's really useful. I'm sorry. Echo chambers are bad. Don't purity test your friends until you don't have anything except people who think just like you. It's bad. Parceless says a taco is a sandwich. Correct, it is. But anyway, so yeah, content going forward. I would like to do response videos less and do more of my content that I've personally done. The things that I'm going to be doing after these two video responses, I have one with Nacho Witness that I'm working on, and I have one from Nathaniel Walters that I'm working on. Once those two are done, I'm going to be working on the Darth Plagueis video, where I talk about Darth Plagueis and how his story relates to egoism. And after that, the next breakdown of a fictional character that I want to do is a breakdown of Merrick from Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I feel as though Merrick's story in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Show largely mirrors the philosophy of Manifest Destiny. And because of that, I've never had an opportunity to really talk about that on my channel. But through the lens of certain fictional characters, I do get the chance to talk about that. I do have the ability to get into the philosophies of certain characters. And it also means that I'll be able to do a lot more philosophical reading. One of the things that has been requested of me when I did my questionnaire of what people want to see from my channel is a lot of people said, hey, maybe you should read more into philosophical theories so that you're more informed on the topics that you're talking about. And one way for me to do that is to do more of those character breakdowns, because those character breakdowns force me to read into philosophical theory, which helps. Shannon says she's lost now. I'm sorry, Shannon. I'm sorry. For story's sake, Merrick is a character in a show that his family had to take care of the tomb of a pharaoh, and he was stuck taking care of that. His family's lineage was just taking care of that tomb for thousands of years. So by the time he got to the point where he was supposed to be next in line, he rejected it. He did not want to be that. He had the thought process that he deserved to rule, not the 5,000-year-old dead pharaoh. So he ended up committing murder. He killed his father and most of his family, with the exception of his sister and their slave, and then attempted to, through the same way that a lot of imperialism viewed Manifest Destiny, attempted to try to take over the world because he felt like it was his right to, because he felt like he had inherited that right from the pharaoh that he was supposed to be in charge of guarding the tomb of. So I want to try to view his story through the lens of Manifest Destiny and explore that character's philosophy as a result. I feel like Merrick is a really, really deep and complex character. In fact, he's deep enough to the point where when you get to the end of the show, he's a completely different person. He stops being the villain who murdered his dad and starts actually being a cooperative person, which is good. I don't know if I'd fully call him a good guy by the end of the show, but he's certainly nowhere near as dangerous. So I want to be able to break down stuff like that, and the best way to do that is through reading into their philosophy. So that just kills two birds with one stone. I get to talk about stuff that I like, which is video games and fiction and stuff like that, nerd shit, basically. And in so doing, I can also do that reading that people are asking me to do. They want me to read more into philosophical theory. I want to read more into that too. For me to do that, one of the best ways is for me to do deep dives into characters. A cooperative person who also killed his dad. Yeah, hey. He killed his dad before the beginning of the story and became a more cooperative person in the end, after several close calls and encounters where he got violently ill. So, CBAM says, FYI, I don't see a banner here unless banner is in the chat flow on the right side screen in the background. I'm not sure what you mean. Kadama says philosophy of Ridley from Metroid. Oh, what would Ridley's philosophy be? He's a space pirate and he's incredibly smart. It's hard to say because with Ridley, he never got to a point where he held grudges up until the point where he was introduced to Samus after killing Samus's parents. So it's really hard to decide what his philosophy would be. I'd have to sit there and do a bit of research on him. Ridley seems like a might makes right type of fellow. Yes and no. Because Samus is more powerful than Ridley in a lot of ways, and he doesn't view that Samus has the power to rule him because of that. I think he might also be a type of egoist, not unlike Darth Plagueis, but we'll see. I'll have to do a little bit of research into him. I was having a conversation with Godless Cranium earlier today, where we were talking about Thanos, and I was just like, I think Thanos is just a rule utilitarian. Like, I mean, yeah, he's got a bit of ego, but I wouldn't say he's got an egoism issue so much as he just like wants everybody else to subscribe to rule utilitarianism in the most harmful way possible. Hot Combo said, "What do you do when you talk about, sir?" So if you want to see the full conversation, pop over to YouTube afterwards and see the video in full. I've TLDR'd a few times now, and I don't want to do it again. Sorry. So what would Azula from Avatar be? Ooh, Azula would be an interesting character breakdown. The problem with a lot of that though is that there's only so many times I'll be able to talk about the same epistemologies, but I think I can figure out a way to do that still. Azula's character breakdown would be very interesting. Examine the Emperor from 40k. Okay, which Emperor? Because are we talking the Emperor from actual Warhammer lore, or are we talking the Emperor from the text-to-speech device series? Because I would rather analyze the text-to-speech device Emperor, let's be honest. Let's be honest. That's text-to-speech device Emperor is great. I'm sorry, Wilson says, does he not see Super Chats? I do see Super Chats. Am I missing one? Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, Wilson. For $2, he said, shout out to the Zelda necklace. I am 6 minutes late on that. I am sorry. And it looks like there's another $2 donation under here that I just don't see because YouTube's weird. Let me see. Let me see if it is actually there. Notepad, help. Oh, nope, just that, apparently. So, sorry I didn't get to that. That was my bad. Everybody makes mistakes. My parents made me. I'm still here, though. William Sy says, talk to speak Emperor. Yeah, it would have to be the text-to-speech device Emperor. Do an analysis of text-to-speech star shout and text-to-speech emps. How about I do an analysis of the pillars from Emperor's text-to-speech device? That way I can make the entire episode filled with nothing but JoJo's references. Would that be good? Because I feel like I could do that, and I don't think many people would complain. I really don't. So, analysis of Alucard from Hellsing. Speaking of Alucard from Hellsing, when we went to the Team 4-Star panel, they had an animatron, like a mannequin, for Alucard, just sitting next to the panel, and they had a remote control where just random quotes from Alucard from Hellsing Ultimate Abridged would play as they hit the buttons on the remote. So anytime somebody in the audience would ask a really snarky question, they would just click it and Alucard would go, "You cheeky bastard." My voice broke there. That's awkward.
It's glorious.
Donation fund to make Cirrus do the torture dance. Donation fund to kick Bumblin' Bee. I'm kidding. I don't mean that. Kadama says, wait, my comments are reposted in the vid. It's weird not seeing a wrench. I gotta get used to that. Yeah, fair. Both Twitch and YouTube chats are going into the vid. So, you can see both in there. Check fan art for a fun doodle. I will do that. I gotta do that real quick. Fan art. It's a fusion. It is one and fusion. Let's go ahead and put that in real quick. Stream art. Yay, it doesn't say image 0. Thank you so much. If it says image 0, I cry. All right. Let's go ahead and get that a a bit smaller so we can go over there. So, analysis of every character from Dead or Alive from Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. As they're portrayed in there, or would you like me to actually do a character breakdown of like Kasumi and shit? Because I mean, I could, but I feel like that's not what you're trying to get me to do. Frustrated says, what do we need to talk about? Look, I will not give up my addiction to collecting spider legs. Okay, Russ, get help. Get help. The fake trumpet says, what is this weeb shit? This weeb shit is literally like 50% of my channel. So, there. Is Nasacium egoism, or are they different things in philosophy? I don't have an answer for that yet because I still have to do my deep dive into egoism to make the Darth Plagueis video. I've got the book finished reading and I have notes on that, but I haven't actually done a deep dive into egoism outside of the very basic analysis of it to where I can identify that, yeah, it seems like Darth Plagueis does mirror a lot of these principles. So do I know what the distinction is right now? No, but I can do that research. What if I analyze Steven Universe characters? Oh, I want to, believe me. I mean, I kind of did that a little bit when I did the Essence of Thought video where I viewed EOT through the lens of Spinel. But I would like to do a full-on breakdown of Spinel as well. That's something that I would like to do. Also, so the characters that I want to do right now, I know I'm going to do Darth Plagueis. I know I'm going to do Merrick. After that, I kind of want to maybe do Dracula from Castlevania and compare him to some of the older versions of Dracula that we've seen in media and see what their different philosophies are when they're stacked up against each other. I would like to get into some of the characters from Evangelion. I think that would be interesting. Steven Universe characters are obviously up there on my list because I love Steven Universe. So that's going to be some stuff that I'm going to want to do. How about doing Nazir from Legend of Korra? I have yet to actually see Legend of Korra. I've seen episodes of Legend of Korra, but I haven't seen it in whole. I've only seen all of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the original series. I've never been terribly compelled to watch Korra. What about a broader analysis of the current trend and sheer number of isekai? Ooh, that would be an interesting one. Isekai anime. That'd be interesting to break down. Of like why there's so much more of that style of show now than there used to be in days long past. I want to say that a lot of that comes down to the success of shows like SAO. Because SAO is an isekai, but it's a really bad isekai. And I want to say because those shows are largely successful, we are getting a lot of shows that are mirroring them. Now, granted, there are shows that are doing much better than Sword Art, like ReZero. Sword Art is still a really shit show. I'm sorry. Sword Art excels in two things, character design and sound design. But as far as, like, everything else goes, no. The most interesting thing about Kirito is that he can dual wield, and that's not very interesting. Bumblebee says, to be honest, I'd subscribe to a full Nerd Circus channel. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I want to slowly convert this into, but I don't want to make this just a nerd shit thing. I still want to do debunks, and I still want to do other stuff, but I want to let the things that are actually my passions and not just my hobbies, because philosophy is my hobby, I want to make it to where a lot of my other passions can come into this channel as well. And the character breakdowns, the one that I did of Sans, the one that I did of Darth Bane, that let me explore that a little bit. And I want to do that more. I want to be able to do that more. Megafert says, I think there's some of that. I feel like it's a reflection of the depression and powerlessness people feel, but SAO broke the ground for it. That's fair. I do think that that's part of it. There's a power fantasy with isekai shows, because what are some of the tropes of isekai, right? Isekai shows generally pit the protagonist in an area where they get a harem together. In ReZero, obviously, there's a harem that the main character gets that involves Rem and everyone else. And then when you get to Sword Art Online, obviously Kirito gets a harem as well, where he gets everything from like your standard waifu character, who's a tsundere, to a lolly, to a freaking blacksmith working girl. Like, there's a freaking checkmark list of, is it a waifu? Okay, Kirito got it, including a freaking female version of himself, right? So that kind of construction of a harem is also part of that fantasy thing, right? Isekai is very good for escapism. The character's literally getting thrown into another world they don't understand, which is probably how you feel as well. When you're watching it, you don't understand the show. You get to learn about it through the lens of the character. They also end up usually being fairly overpowered. I mean, just look at fucking Kirito. Have you ever played an MMO before? Right? If you've played an MMO, you understand that being a solo player in an MMO doesn't fucking work. There are very few MMOs. If an MMO is built where there are team encounters that you have to do, usually the MMO will not allow you to get very far solo. And if you do get very far solo, there's usually like a wall you hit. Like World of Warcraft, there's a wall you hit where, oh, wait, no, I can't actually go any further. I have to actually group up with people now. This happens in both Classic and the Real One if you in retail. This happens as well in RuneScape, is you can be a solo player and be the biggest badass in the world, but if you go into the wilderness past level 20, somebody's going to beat the shit out of you. This is a thing that we also got in Dream of Mirror Online. This is a thing we also got in MapleStory. It's a thing that you just get in MMOs. Sword Art pretended that didn't fucking exist. In Sword Art, Kirito's stronger than armies. Somehow. I'm sorry. That's not how MMOs work. Not only that, but the MMO environment that they set up in Sword Art Online is one of the shittiest MMO settings ever. Most good MMOs have some type of open world, and that's not what you have in Sword Art. You had 100 floors. Have you ever actually played a 100 floors MMO? Because I have. They're not that great. Actually kind of boring. Like, 100 floor tower MMOs do exist. That's a real thing. They're just not good. So, yeah, no. I'm sorry. Also, there's just other shit in Sword Art that doesn't make any sense. Like, I've played enough video games to know that sheer will and determination does not suddenly give you free fucking stats. That's, when you're I've been transported into a digital world anime, I can honestly say that Digimon did it better. Your anime did not do well. And I can stand by that. I think that Digimon did you've been transported into a digital world. If you die here, you're fucked. I think that Digimon did that way better than Sword Art did. And I'll stand by that. I will stand by that. So, that said, the only issue that .hag has over SAO is that SAO at least has good pacing somewhat, and .hack is a very slow-paced show. You have to be willing to deal with the pace of that show to get into it. So, that said, I don't know if there's much of anything else I need to get into on this note. I do know that one thing that I would like to do before we get out is I'd like to go through some of the comments that I did get to show kind of where I'm coming from with this. where I'm coming from with my my want to restructure things a little bit on the channel going forward. So I'm going to move this so I can see everybody as well. Aha. If you do a dive of Batman or Harry Potter characters, I'll help. Nice. God damn it. Service will one day get a Crunchyroll sponsorship. Maybe. That's one of the other things, is that just doing the debunk stuff, it doesn't lend itself very well to getting sponsorships. And I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. I don't want to make it to where my career is reliant just on YouTube not one day imploding. Because if I did that, that would be really fucking irresponsible. Like, really fucking irresponsible. So let's see here. When I did my question, the first response that I got to it was that the channel needed more naked Surus. And look, I'm not saying that it's a result strictly of YouTube limitations, but this is neither YouTube nor Twitch will allow me to do naked Surus. So sorry about that. Get a comment from Luke Andrew on there. You do well and explaining how you got to your position logically while showing the flaws and how others got to theirs. I like listening rather than watching to you from content because I have a hard time watching the shorter videos unless it's criticism with clips. I'd like to see some more engaging visuals. And for me to do the more engaging visuals, that's another thing. I kind of want to get away from the static avatar and motion background format a little bit. I would like to do more like me looking at the camera stuff, because that's more visually engaging. I can have hand motions and I can gesture at something and then have it pop on screen, and I can do a little more with that without it being a giant nightmare with editing. So I want to have more visual engaging stuff on my channel, and I think that's one of the ways I can kind of do that. Psycho One says, strength, the drive to approach any subject that you feel is important, regardless of any controversy. So there are some subjects that I will not broach, though. As much as I have opinions on them, but I don't as much as I would like to. And that's just because the environment's not well suited for it. I don't want to get into what those are. But I will at some point. If I feel like the political environment is set up well enough where I can do that without shooting myself in the foot, then maybe. But not right now. For the most part, though, that is true. There's just one or two subjects that I won't touch because I like being able to have a job. It says, do live stuff on Pornhub for another revenue stream. Oh, my God. Zam Weasel says, collabs with other YouTubers. Well, that's something that I'm trying to do. I have 2 collaborations that are coming up. You okay, honey? Oh, you're giving Gigi some pets. I do have the 2 collaborations that are coming up that I'm working on right now, and then I have another one that I want to do, analyzing the LaRouche Foundation with Telltale, but that's going to require me to make a script, and I am nowhere near ready to do that yet. I am working on that. Said, where did Raz go? Raz is currently in her office. Raz is... Oh, she's laying down? Okay. So, because Raz has ASPD, she has a people meter. There's only so much personal interaction she can take. And we just spent time with 35,000 people constantly, every waking hour, for 4 days straight. She is not dealing with any of us right now. Ian says, this is a little bit unnecessary and kind of pointless, but I'd like to see your character more animated rather than just a couple of different stills. I would like to do that too. It's just not something that I can do right now because of time constraints. I can't make myself have burnout, and if I make myself have burnout, I'm kind of screwed. How's it going, Nakasuchi? What? Oh. Yeah, Gigi's got you. One person said, have a fun video of you playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic the Gathering with friends or other creators that already happen to play. That's something that would work really well on Twitch, but not so much on YouTube. Why is there just a random... This is the problem with studio lights, right? I live out in the country, and and the house isn't like perfectly insulated, so there is a way for some bugs to get in. And if you've got a studio light, that's the thing they're gonna go after. Someone do a VR character of Cirrus. Okay, look, Kadama, if somebody does a VR character of me, I will gladly use that character in VR chat and do a video where I just go around talking to people about random shit. I'll do it. I will gladly do that. Otherwise, I'm just going to walk around to people and talk to people as like a Hatsune Miku avatar. Bucket List says that I would personally like to see you do a few videos on Australian politics if you'd be so inclined. It'd be interesting to see an outsider's perspective. That would require me to do a lot of research into Australian politics. But I'm not against the idea. JM says the only criticism I have is the streams. They go off on the rails so often that unless you're live in the chat, I don't really get much out of them, but that's just me. And again, that is one of the reasons why I want to take some streams like this, where I'm just talking. I don't have much. I'm going to keep this up on my channel for the time being so that people can see where I'm coming from with when the channel does go through its changes. But largely, with that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to get streams off my channel as much as possible. I want people, when they want to go in and binge my content, to actually be able to do so. Haruhi Suzumiya says Cirrus is best Cirrus when you destroy the weird grifters and the NIFB gets dunked on. Blue Strider says strength. I think it's great that you don't shy away from controversial topics. We have one of those again. Weakness. Maybe stop teasing Ocean during Hammered Out. No, I generally don't know at the moment. I'll edit this out if I find something. Favorite episode? The Yandere episode. Amir, this is a long one, but try less nitpicking. A 40-minute video is a bad long for some of us. On the topic of transgender athletes was the best video because it was quick and it was to the point. Since you hardly make any jokes, try to do something to keep the video somewhat entertaining. It's very boring to sit and hear you talk about something. Usually I get bored after 13 minutes, just leave the video. That's fair. Like I said, I need to be more engaging with my content. Also, who are you making your videos for? Because if it's for other atheists to slam dunk dumb religious people, then yeah, it doesn't matter if it's 40 minutes long. If it's to inform people, then you better make it somewhat fun to watch for those people. What I mean by this is that you're well informed, but you're not the best at presenting them in an interesting way for randoms to enjoy. Again, that's a fair criticism. Also, I'm not a fan. I used to watch your stuff to get the other side's point of view, but I got tired of doing so because the last 3 to 5 videos I've heard nothing but nitpicks, and I just don't feel like sitting through all those anymore. At this point, I'd much rather stick with Sargon, Ladder with Crowder, Hunter, Avalon. Even if I don't agree with some things, at least they're funny to watch, and that's good enough for me. And if you find Sargon more entertaining than me, then I know that I've at least failed somewhere. So, that's one of the reasons why I want to try to improve. Yoko Higibana says, I personally like the longer videos. It helps me pass time at work easier and gives me more to think about and consider if there's more to listen to. Again, another person saying long-form content is okay. Warren says, if you want to do really well in philosophical content, you need to spend less time gaming and more time reading. Do better at stress relief. I understand this is like telling a person try harder at sleeping, but optimal output requires you to give yourself the time that's efficient at counterbalancing the stressors in your life. Lean on others more, or organizations. Detach performance metrics from self-worth, and do not read condemnation into negative feedback. Worry less. Fair. Like I said, I want to be able to read more into philosophy. So for me to actually do that, that will require me to have an incentive to do so. I only have 24 hours in the day, and if I'm doing more videos that require it, then that motivates me to do it. C. Levy says, I know the moving backgrounds are kind of your thing, but due to health reasons, I cannot watch your videos and enjoy them as though they were podcasts. Harbor Dry Gaming says, I too would enjoy a slightly more animated version of the Zer's avatar if possible. I agree with what has already been said, the strengths being your dedication to a topic no matter how controversial. Weaknesses would probably be related to the above, as well as allowing others to come in and take over your streams with their debates. My favorite episode is probably the one where you discuss polyamory. My least favorite is anything involving Hunter Avalon. Fair. Frustrated says, I want to see you solve life's hardest question, like is mayonnaise an instrument? Or what if I sniff someone's belly button? Or when will I stop getting looks when I fart? I can actually answer all of those. Yes, mayonnaise is an instrument. There's actually a video that goes into this, how to use mayonnaise as a musical instrument. What happens when you sniff someone's belly button? They will call you weird. And will you stop getting looks when you fart? Learn how to fart silently, you Neanderthal. That's how you will do it. There, I've answered all three of those questions. All of life's hardest philosophical noggin scratchers done. So, will I be interested in doing more debates in the new format? Probably. One person says Dangers of Woo are my favorites, and I'd love to see more. Flat Earth, LMM, maybe Voodoo. Your stuff is pretty easy for me to digest, so the 20 to 40 minute range works. Keep at it. One person says, or Joanne says, strength, your voice, you're calm, you're not easily stoked, your ability to explain and clarify and teach, your kindness and generosity, your vulnerability, the visuals on your channel, and your good looks. I don't really have those, but thank you. Focus, be you, be real. Just grow and evolve. If you're tired of doing something or it doesn't give you joy anymore, then go to something else. I've got tremendous respect for you in the way that you overcome difficulties and deal with hurt or setbacks. I don't consider them weaknesses. And thank you for that. We have another one from Osvaldo. Just keep it nice and clean as always, dude. And read even more so you can flex those facts to the point to become a messiah. Well, I don't want to become a messiah, but I do want to read more. I do want to research more so I'm more informed whenever I'm making points on my videos. Uncle Ubi says, make commissions of a few different drawings that can be used for reactions, like a face with wide eyes and lines going down, for them to signify shock and statement, like a YouTuber who uses different drawings. All the top of my head is stock. So I actually do have those avatars. The thing is that I just don't feel like I have the time to edit that stuff in, which is why I kind of want to do stuff like this, because to animate myself requires me to just be animated. Not as hard. Let's see. One person says, not pretending to support trans people while you're still promoting the ACA and Matt Dillahunty by. Spoken from somebody who probably hasn't actually talked to anybody in the ACA or has actually talked to Matt Dillahunty. I have, though. I've actually sat down to dinner with Matt. So, just... I'm not pretending to support trans people. I'm not. If you honestly think I'm pretending to support... This is one of the ones I will respond to, like this. If you honestly think I'm pretending to support trans people, then cool. Call me a grifter. I don't care. That's fine. Meanwhile, any of the trans people who are on my channel who I do support can then realize that that's not exactly the case. But, meh. Risen says, I prefer the more casual videos, one focusing on a good lolcow. The no bullshit videos are great, and that one Playboy who really hated gamers for some reason and called them skinny fat. I would enjoy a few more of those every now and again. The serious topics are good, but can be a bit overbearing and heavy. Hell, your God Gun Gless and Glory bit had me laughing pretty damn hard. I don't know if you're more casual and focus on more lighthearted things in your live streams, but some people just don't really like live streams, myself included. I think one of the lolcow relaxed videos every month or two would be good. You don't necessarily have to go after easy targets, but finding topics that are less serious could be fun. These are my very tired thoughts on the matter. Nirakolov says, format streams... format seems to be about good. Strengths are that you engage with the comment section. I don't do as much as I need to. I really should do better at that. With many uploaders refuse to do, probably for the sake of their sanity. I enjoy that you allow me to both ask an earnest, ignorant question while also later make a crass joke about the same subject. Yeah. Place of Worship says, stop spewing bullshit. Look in a mirror. I've read many of your comments, Place of Worship. I really have. I read almost all of them. I just don't engage with all of them. And so, yeah, no, when you're ready to stop looking in a mirror, that will help. Yes, Jake, I am still on. I mean, the stream's only been like, what? Yeah, we're hitting the 2-hour mark. Shay says one of your biggest strengths is that you show your appreciation and gratitude to your fans and subscribers. It helps even those of us who don't do fan art to know that you're engaging with and care about the community around your channel. I feel like a big weakness is that your videos are pretty close to 100% response videos. Again, that's something I've covered earlier, and I agree. They're responses to low-hanging fruit level morons with an audience. See, there's the rub, though. I will at least say that that's kind of the rub, is that you can say somebody's low-hanging fruit and it be true, but if they've got an audience of 300,000, 400,000, sometimes 1 million, in Crowder's case, 4 million, if they have an audience that big, they're low-hanging fruit, but they're also the people who are convincing people. Those are the people who are changing the minds of others, or at least validating them. They may be low-hanging fruit, but they end up being some of the most important people to respond to. I've gotten, it's happened at least 3 times, not as much as I'd like, but I've gotten at least a few comments on my videos from people who are like major Hunter Avalone fans that come into one of my response videos and go, you know, I came in expecting to hate you, but you actually made really good points. And that means a lot, because it means that there's somebody who is largely affected by a content creator who I'm criticizing, who can read into what I'm saying and go, yeah, no, actually, that makes sense. It doesn't happen often. I get mostly hate comments when I do stuff like that. But still, like, that means a whole lot. They go on to say, show us some original content. I love your videos that deal with your poly relationships and the people that you're in relationship to, and other impactful things that give others a new perspective on how they could pursue their own joy, light, and truth. Not the religious or scientific kind, but the lived kind. I'd love to see you tackle more intellectually rigorous videos in your responses. Make us think. Show us how you're applying philosophy, reason, epistemology to what you're reacting to. Give us something meaty to sink our teeth into. And that's kind of why I want to do a lot of the character analysis stuff. I feel like that gives me a chance to do that. Because if I'm reacting to somebody who's doing low-hanging fruit shit, then my responses aren't going to be terribly meaty. Because, again, there's a lot to unpack, but a lot of it's going to end up being surface level. But if I'm responding to a character's epistemology and I'm breaking them down fundamentally, point by point, that can give you something meaty to sink your teeth into, something to think about. Jerome says, I'm really confused. Is the stream just suggesting what Sir should improve on and do in the future? That's part of it. That's part of it. That's a good bit of it. I'm ending with the comments that I've received that have made me have informed my opinion going forward on this. Sil G says, I think I personally prefer videos that are 20 minutes or under. Your strengths are in politics, atheism, and response videos. I don't like live streams, and I never ever watch them. I would love to see biblical gender roles in videos because they're interesting, but you only really tackle them in live streams. And if I can tackle them in a live stream and then edit it down into a video format, then that would probably be a lot more digestible. One person says, no changes. Your strengths would be your support network by having your family and sharing the stage. Gives a diversity of views and experience in your statements. Weakness, nothing I'd say to change. Favorite episode is God is a Yandere Schoolgirl. As an anime fan, I was laughing like crazy. Again, there we go. Most people's favorite videos end up being the original content. They're not the videos that get as many views. Like, hell, if I look up the God is a Yandere video, I'm like 90% certain that video has actually not performed well. Right? What is that sitting at right now? 7,000 views. 7,000 views. That video has a little over a quarter of my subscribers as viewers. That video has not performed well. It hasn't. And that kind of makes me sad. Like, I really do wish that video could have performed better, but it didn't. The response videos just perform better. They're better for growth. They're better for everything. But I don't want to do them as much. One person says, don't be an SJW. I let you decide if I'm joking. Also, what do you think about the new Hunter video where he talks about conservatives not being centered by big tech? Well, I've pointed that out in this video. I'm glad that he's doing it. That makes me... It brings me joy, and it lets me have a little bit of faith in humanity. Paul Butler said, I liked your video on the historical Jesus and would like to see more of that type of content. Also, some content specifically about philosophy would be interesting, done in Sir's style. So again, that's the character analysis stuff is what I want to do there. And then the history videos I still want to do. They take time. They take a lot of time. And I want to try to curate my videos so that I can do those a little easier. Zippo Boy says, Sirs, but you are an SJW. Depends on your definition. I've been called it a few times by a few people, but there are other people that use SJW to denote a type of toxicity that I largely don't engage in. Sparkwalmer says, I like your channel, tackling content that you consider important, which is generally important. Just do your stuff and don't worry too much about changes. A suggestion for the box might be having Raz, Aaron, Gaelic Knox, and the rest add their 2 cents in more vids. You do fantastic on your own, but some vids benefit from an additional viewpoint and voice. Also, Raz definitely should consider doing audiobooks in yandere mode. Has she considered voice acting? I would actually like to see Raz do voice acting. I think she could perform in it very well. As for strengths, you're good at breaching subjects in an open manner, but do deliver a firm stance against woo and other nonsense. You try to do good things away from keyboard, including stealing abuse victims and helping them out with limited resources. That is a strong point that even blind people under the ocean can see. Kizcoat says, I think that everybody's already come up with pretty much everything I want to say. I like your format. You're calm in the way you approach things. I just think that the visuals could be more entertaining. The picture you have is really cute, but you can have something a bit more professional. And that's a shameless plug because I'm a character designer at an animation studio. If you want, I can show you some of my stuff and do another avatar and maybe do a new visual theme. I like what you have already, but I think that it can be even better. I believe it's Raz who did them. It was Gaelic Knox who did them. Thank you. Or Gaelic Knox and Tide did those. But I still think they're really good. I'm actually going to go ahead and respond to this person and let them know to email me. That's the one I will be responding to. Harsh Colby says, I skipped the fan art as not being pertinent to the topic. You know what? That's fine. If you skip the fan art, go ahead, but I'm never going to not put it in. I'm sorry. If somebody is putting in the time to make fan art of me, which is something that I never thought I would ever receive in my entire life, I'm going to take the time to showcase it and point out who made the fan art. That's the reason why I say who the fan art's from every time. That way, if any of those artists... Hopefully some of them have gotten commissions through those little shout-outs. I would hope so. If it's happened at least once, then I'm happy with that. But if people are going to put in the effort to do so, I'm going to showcase it. I'm going to celebrate it. That's what I'm going to do. That's not going to stop. Artists put in a lot of work, especially when it's stuff that's free like that. I feel like I owe it to them. Zippo Boy says, is there another way to do fan art besides submitting through Discord? Yeah, you can email it to me. Just make sure that you say fan art in the email so that when I'm curating my fan art section, I can go into my email and just type in fan art and locate it that way. Casper Lascara says, I feel like one of your strengths is knowledge of rhetoric and the ability to not only explain that someone's argument is bad, but exactly why it's bad. I think branching out from Christian vloggers and getting into a little more woo and conspiracy talk can help diversify the content a little bit. I know you hate politics, but taking down some right arguments for stupid shit like they could also be good for diversifying your channel. This may be a personal problem, but sometimes I start to get rage burnout, so sometimes more lighthearted content would be nice. But I understand that that's not doable, since as a skeptic channel, your orientation is to address bad rhetoric, and the most important bad rhetoric to address is that which is used for spreading hate. Understandable. This is the reason why response videos will never leave the channel. They'll be there till the day I die. I think so. Vinod Draco, who has a picture of Ubel as their icon, says strengths, tearing down hidden agendas. 2, weaknesses, you get worked up too hard. Please, for your own sake, take breaks for mental health. 3, format whatever you want. 4, most importantly, have fun. Allison Boley says, I like how the thingamaboop goes straight from a genuine response to just naked Surus. It's a lovely display of this community. Yeah. That's fair. What is another one that, Joel Falia says, I like the more philosophical dives into topics. Chenku says, I like Dangers of Woo and also the political videos, especially the responses. I will admit that I consider your live streams weaker, but that's mostly because I don't like that format for video in general. I also miss the running gag with your intro crushing people. I want to get back into using that running gag. I miss it. I really do. Apollo says, I like your philosophical-oriented videos, but I watch basically anything you post. I'll even listen to the longer videos in one sitting. You're basically perfected this YouTube thing. I say just keep being you, whatever changes you do or don't make. I don't think I've perfected the YouTube thing. I feel like there's a lot of stuff I can work on. Zippo says, what if you have a monogamous partner but realize you're polyamorous? How do you reconcile this? Well, the truth of the matter is, if your partner is not polyamorous and is not willing to enter into a polyamorous relationship, then you're going to be mono. You might have a monogamous partner that is willing to let you explore polyamory and still just be monogamous with you, where their only partner is you. That's something that you might do. But the reality is that polyamory requires communication. So if you and your partner cannot both agree on adding another person in, it just won't happen. Like, even though I'm polyamorous, if me, Aaron, and Emmett and Raz do not agree on another person coming in, then they don't come in. That's just how it works. So, again, your partner is that. They're your partner. Think of it like a business. If you want to do something and your partner doesn't want to do it, you're going to have a conflict of interest. You can't just do it. That's a quick way to lose a business partner. Same thing in relationships. T-Griff over on the Twitch chat says, I think you could really benefit by leaning into your knowledge and familiarity with memes. The right is so accessible because they're good at memeing. Contra's a great creator because she's good at it. When I see you actively referencing and making use of the memes, you know which work into the topic at hand. I really enjoy it. That's something I actually have been trying to do more. I've been trying to harvest some stuff that I can use for it, and I'm gonna try to do that more often now if I can help it. Another person says, I really like the different art that you use all the time. The variety is always welcome. I also appreciate your willingness to tackle other topics. Canna Valentine says, I like your passion when you talk about important things to you. I also like hearing tidbits about your life. Maybe collab with your partners. Well, I've done that a little bit. Dragworker says, format. Most of your formatting is fine. Maybe find a way to make your content more visually engaging. Focus in your live streams. They're good, but rough around the edges. Strength, adding nuance, having guests and treating them well, interacting with chat, and overall a unique approach to topics. I think with 2020 coming up, a big focus is making sure you keep some amount of religious woo debunking content in with the likely uptake of political talk. Weaknesses, tangents on live streams, audio issues in live streams starting at their scheduled time, and frequent breaks in upload schedule. Life happens, I understand, but this is an area that could use a lot of improvement. As for outright avoiding, continue to dodge drama until you can't. That's just a strength in disguise, in my opinion. Favorite episode? I enjoy Dangers of Woo. I enjoy the earlier live streams on Nat Powell or on BGR. The Transports video was interesting because your take was unique and refreshing. Least favorite episode? My least favorite episode was the Hammered Out with Modern Day Debate, but that's only because I really don't like Modern Day Debate. Hey, fair. But again, it seems like favorite episodes, with few exceptions, seem to be stuff from the Dangers of Who episodes or the breakdown of fictional characters, whether it be the juxtaposing God as a yandere to, Miraniki, or if it's the Sans video and the Darth Bane video, and just the Danger Boo videos in general, those are the things that people seem to think are their favorites. Even though the views for those are lower, they're still the content that people just generally think are better. So I think that's the stuff that I need to focus on. If that's what people are honestly thinking is better, then that's the direction I need to go. So, that said, if there's anything else that I haven't covered here, then hopefully I will be able to do that later on. But hopefully this gave us a chance to actually dive into what's going on the channel, what I'm wanting to do, and what I kind of want to improve on. Flambronca says, is there a good way to play you in Yu-Gi-Oh! On Twitch stream? Yeah, you challenge me to a duel, and you accept the fact that we're going to be playing GOAT format. Sorry. So, that said, if you enjoyed this, let me know. Leave a like, all that other fun stuff. If you did enjoy it, then you've probably already typed out in the comments section, let's be fair. That said, I think I'm going to go ahead and hop out and take a little bit of break, play some video games, and then get to work on tomorrow's episode. So I hope you guys did enjoy. I really do. So thank you guys for listening. I know it's been an hour of just me chatting at you, but I hope it was at least somewhat engaging.